Hello everyone, welcome back to another video here. We have a Dev Insight article. So I do have Destiny 2 running in the background here, large in part due to if weapon catalysts are revealed. I am going to check what the weapon does itself, that sort of thing, and some other stuff. So, also, something of note, the TWAB does come out today, but it comes out at about 2 o'clock my time. And unfortunately, I have to get ready for work 30 minutes after releases. I am actually not going to have time to upload it in time. So y'all will be getting a general thought. Well, actually, y'all won't be getting it. But, oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Oh my. Okay, never mind. I saw something. But y'all will be getting that video tonight when I get out of work. So it will be recorded before, but I will be uploading it after I get out of work. So that's something of note. Saturday is when you'll be getting your first episode of 007, and of course I will be doing some re-trolling. So on that note though, let's get into Dev Insights, Weapons, Artifacts, and Focusing Preview. Okay, before we dig in, we wanted to take a moment to thank you. Seeing your reactions has been really moving to us. Frankly, we wouldn't be here without you, and the way you continue to show up for this world means more than we can fully put into words. Every memory and moment you've shared with us over the years has fueled our future. Every ounce of our June update is for you. Aw, thank you. Yeah, it's a bit sappy and sentimental, but that's how we're feeling while reading all of your stories over the last week. Appreciate you, Bungie. Made a game that's been super impactful. Again, thank you for being here and for sticking with us. I will say about Destiny 2 as a whole. There's really only been, even though I say that Stellar Blade is my favorite game of all time, there have really only been 3 games, I would say, that have made a major impact on myself as a human being and, as a person and whatnot. And on my life. And Bloodborne is definitely number 1. It got me into a whole new genre. It really made me dive into some other stuff as well. And there's some personal stuff I have with, Bloodborne. Of course, Doom 2016 was a major one as well, but Destiny 2 is in that realm. I've been playing Destiny 2 longer than I've been with Torchic, which is crazy to say. I've been playing even my friendship with Psycho and friendship with Y-Fox. Destiny 2 is around that same length of time, so it's kind of crazy. But let's get into the article. So, greetings, Guardians. We are here today to share the many balance changes and updates where the Destiny 2 team has been working on for the Monument of Triumph update coming June 9th. Long article, okay. New weapon tier upgrading system, the tier upgrading for crafted weapons, which is why I don't think we'll necessarily have to regrind for the raid weapons for the most part. Buffs to many exotics like Anarchy, Lament, and Vex Mythic class. Finally! Including new catalysts, and improvements for previous ones. Okay. Balance update to most legendary weapon types, including an overall buff to primary weapon damage in PvE. Thank fuck. Targeted buffs to most special weapons in PvE. I would say shotguns kind of need one, if anything, because shotguns have not really been meta since Deep Zone Crypt. If we're being perfectly honest, outside of the weird Banner of War 1-2 punch shenanigans. But many legendary perk fixes and buffs, okay. A preview of the very customizable Artifact 2.0. New ways to counter champions, saving your choices in loadouts. Okay. Okay, weapon tier upgrading. Okay, so we're basically just, it's self-explanatory. The final upgrade from Tier 4 to Tier 5 will therefore have unlocked all enhanced perks, enhanced mods, barrels, mags, masterworking. Okay. So it's basically going to upgrade the masterworking, but a Tier 5 will have more perk options, which I think is good. Okay, but here we are. Exotic Weapon Catalyst with Monument of Triumph. Okay. Let's see what they got. Okay, so Chaperone. It's a sneak preview, a handful of these. Okay. Some of these I don't like. So, Chaperone is getting triple tap. Parasite is getting Envious Arsenal, and Terrible is getting Ambitious Assassin. I don't like the Terrible one. The Terrible one is the most disappointing one out of all of these. But triple tap Chaperone. They have Chaperone. Okay, they have some of these up here. So Chaperone. Rapidly landing precision hits will return 1 to the magazine. What does Chaperone do by default? Let's take a look. Let's take a look. So Chaperone by default, right here. Precision round, interesting. The precision final blows and rapid precision hits briefly grant handling, range, rate of fire, and precision damage with this weapon. Okay, Chaperone could be quite good, actually. Chaperone could be quite good. Then Parasite. Dealing damage with both other weapons before writing this weapon refills it from reserves. That is honestly kind of useless because Parasite relies on you having 20 stacks. So I guess it makes it more usable for, like, GMs, I guess? Then Teraba. Overflows the magazine based on the number of rapid kills before reloading. No. 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 The reason why unless Teraba as a whole is getting changed. The reason being is because Teraba does not synergize at all with Solar. It has nothing to do with, like, it doesn't synergize at all with Solar. Because Solar as a subclass, at least for Titan, heavily relies on you doing Scorch or something. But it just doesn't. Like, it has armor-piercing rounds, but, like, yeah, it has no synergy with Solar. It has no synergy with Solar. It has no synergy with Solar. So that is concerning to me. So Teraba is just kind of the catalyst I will never... None of these catalysts I'll probably ever do. Crimson is To the Pain. I actually don't know what To the Pain does. Merciless getting Heal Clip is an interesting choice because Merciless is, again, a damage weapon. You don't use Merciless for ad clearing. So to me, that's a little confusing to me. So, like, as a build guide, these catalysts so far are kind of a nothing burger. Chaperone is the most interesting. But Parasite, to me, you kind of don't know you kind of don't know how people use the exotic. Teraba, you don't know the issues with this exotic, being the fact that it doesn't do anything with Solar. And Crimson, To the Pain, again, I can't say much about that. To the Pain, it might be good. I don't remember what that perk does. I don't have any guns that have that perk on it. If that says anything. And Merciless Heal Clip, you should have gotten something to maybe increase damage further. No one uses this thing for ad clear. Outside of killing, like, mini bosses and that sort of thing. No one uses this gun for ad clear. Its Heal Clip is interesting, but again, Merciless will be just as meta as it is now. Teraba is going to be just as meta as it is now. Because we don't have... Because if Teraba was Void, that'd be a little bit different. Because you'd have a way to give your weapon a buff. Titans don't have a real way to do that. So... Yeah. 25 catalysts and 9 new perks. Okay. 9 perks added to existing catalysts. Okay. I would like so we hope somebody's renewing. Okay, so I guess we're not getting a list of all of them, which is kind of disappointing. Enhanced weapon crafting. Okay, well, Monument Shrine adding new armor set bonuses to our raid and dungeon destination content. We wanted those weapons to feel relevant again, but not necessarily ask players to regrind them under gear tiering, which I think is great. We know players, yep. Okay. Upon logging in, any legendary crafted weapon that already exists will immediately be eligible for a version of gear tier upgrading, and any newly crafted legendary weapon can be taken on the same upgrading journey. This will be a new mod to improve the tier of the weapon upon reaching specific weapon levels. Okay. Okay, on a crafted weapon, this is one I'm more curious of. On a crafted weapon, gear tier will act a bit differently. Okay. When you reach weapon level 11, you can upgrade to gear 2, just like with the fresh tiered weapon drop. You gain access to enhanced, okay. At weapon level 25, okay, that's quite high. You can upgrade a gear tier 4 and add enhanced components, and then tier 5 will have enhanced origin traits. Okay. So kind of like how it already has. Okay, we're not talking about the depth stuff. So, Weapon Sandbox tuning updates. Ammo system changes. The ammo system has received buffs to underperforming weapons, nerfs to outliers, and several bug fixes and quality of life improvements. Heavy, high-impact auto rifles need a buff. And, I think it's lightweight frame. I'm just going to double-check here, because it's Posterity and Word of Crota are the specific offenders that don't deal a ton of damage. So, 180 hand cannons. And honestly, I wouldn't mind 140s getting a little bit of a buff as well, but yeah, 180s specifically need the buff. So, in general, we have modified the ammo system so that if any enemy is floating above a pit, they will not drop an ammo brick when defeated, even if it fills the meter. Thank fuck. Because that is kind of an issue. Special ammo weapons. We took a baseline swing to make double special slightly less viable for ad clear, which I agree. Outside of that role, this change is generally not offset by damage plus previous. Okay. Okay, so reduce the amount of meter progress special ammo weapons gain from defeated targets against minor enemies by 17%. Okay, I agree with that. I agree with that. Now, linears. So both special ammo and heavy ammo precision linears felt like they were not getting enough ammo per brick. I haven't used linears in so long, mainly because they're not my preferred weapon type. But 3 to 5 is great. 4 to 6, okay. 3 to 5, 6 to 10, damn, okay. Barrier Bloodline corrected an issue where Barrier Bloodline was not getting additional ammo from enhanced ammo bricks. Didn't know that was an issue. Choir of 1. Choir of 1 is simply 2 free in terms of both ammo, and both, what the fuck? Free in terms of ammo, both in isolation and double special builds. And it's one of the only special weapons that didn't follow the standard rules of ammo brick values. I actually kind of agree with this as well. Choir 1 is basically a light special ammo, if that makes sense. It's still in a very in-between state. Rocket Pulses fix an issue that sometimes calls Rocket Pulses to only earn 2 shots per base brick. Fix an issue where Sai Eterna was not correctly having its ammo brick increased by scavenger mods. That's interesting. Fix an issue where legendary pulses were not correctly having their ammo brick split. Okay. Only a Crucible? Y'all can read this. I don't do Crucible. Now, Rise over and exotic weapon adjustments. Okay, Jade Rabbit. Ooh, okay. Jade Rabbit, I didn't mind. I don't think I have its catalyst done. But yeah, I increased the magazine size from 10 to 15. I like that. They want removed Zen Moment. Interesting. Add Shoot to Loot and Firefly as the 2 traits? Okay, okay. Increase the maximum stacks cap to 15. In addition to chaining precision hits, precision kills now add a stack. Ooh, gated stack. Ooh, stacks will no longer be completely removed when you reload. Oh, dealing direct body shot damage will still remove 1 stack. Okay. Scales the damage of Firefly when it's active. Dealing splash damage will not remove a stack of the perk. Okay, good. Catalyst, in addition to adding stability, special reloading will consume all stacks of Fatal Fools and grant a singular micro missile round, which deals bonus damage based on the number of stacks consumed. Ooh, 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 that's unstoppable. Ooh, ooh. Now, I'm going to be a little petty here. Jade Rabbit already synergizes more with Solar than Teraba does. And Teraba is a Solar exotic. But, oh, damn, Jade Rabbit, though. Jade Rabbit looks good. Oh, this is going to be nasty in PvP. Oh, this is going to be nastier in PvP. If you already are pretty good with Jade Rabbit PvP, holy shit. But this thing, ooh. Oh, this is tempting. I might try to use that. Vex Mythoclast. As the sandbox evolved, Vex Mythoclast felt like it lagged behind other raid weapons in terms of strength and PvE content. Yes. In case I do not remember, Vex, when it released, was very weak upon release. Also, if they do anything with Necrochasm or Legend of Acreus, Bungie. I'm gonna bust right here and now. But Vex has been very weird. Also, Vex suffers, at least on Titan, Vex also suffers from not synergizing with Solar. Again, the problem with a lot of Solar exotics is that if on Titan, if they do not synergize with Solar at all, you pretty much can't use them. We wanted to give the linear fusion shots something extra to feel like they're worth the kill requirements to charge them. And we updated the intrinsic and catalyst to help requiring those kills a little bit easier. Okay. Okay, now it has what is comparably a more potent version of rewind rounds while in full auto mode. You know what? I kind of like the idea of the raid exotics having a souped up version of their specific raid perks. Which makes me curious, if Isa Tomorrow's getting a catalyst, I wonder if it's going to get something like either recombination or reconstruction. So I'm curious if it's going to get something like that. That'd be pretty cool. But Time Killer. Precision kills with linear fusion shots now also trigger an ignition. Okay. After leaving linear fusion mode, the magazine is now fully reloaded. That's a quality of life change. Okay. The HUD buff and magazine play has been tweaked. Okay. The catalyst. Sustained damage can now also activate the catalyst in addition to kills. Added a HUD buff. What does the catalyst do now? What does the catalyst do? Hold on a minute. We gotta actually look at what the Vex catalyst already does. I like the ignition part. That gives it a little bit more usability. Which is kind of nice. Because again, Titans can't exactly get Radiant very easily. Unless they change how the subclass works. Okay, while in full auto mode, final blows of this weapon grant damage, accuracy, and stability. So it's gonna happen on hits? Oh, Vex is gonna be... Oh, okay. Okay. Touch of Malice. Okay, 1 second. Holy shit. Okay, this is a lot of exotics. Okay, so far, Vex and Jade Rabbit so far look good. Touch of Malice. Despite multiple previous changes, Touch of Malice has not lived up to D1 glory days. Really hasn't. We made a few changes to its baseline. Help it build. Okay. Increase the final round damage bonus by 10%. Set it up so that special reload can be made faster by buffing reload speed. That's good. Replace rapid hit with precision instrument. I agree with that. Gain increased stability and reload speed with each stack of charge with light. I think this makes it a little bit better. Last word. Much like our text weapons, last word still sits on the razor's edge between being extremely potent on a single input, type of or feeling out of touch. Okay. Increase stability on mouse and keyboard by 10%. Increase aim assist when hipfiring by... Okay. I more so think its potent stuff is probably going to be in its catalyst. Mida Multi-Tool. Lower the PvE combined kill requirement from 10 kills per modification to 7 kills per modification. Okay, that's pretty cool. The catalyst improved radar resolution now remains active for a few seconds when you stow multi-tool, instead of immediately deactivating. Multi-tool still needs to be in your hands for the catalyst to be active. Okay, I'm not sure if that's going to make it more meta again, but... Heirloom. Oh, that's the crossbow. Exotic... Wait, what the fuck is heirloom? Hold on a minute. What the fuck? Is it heirloom, an exotic crossbow or something that's solar? What the fuck is... You know shit is bad when I don't know the that I don't know what the exotic is. Oh yeah, it's something that I don't have. Because I didn't bother farming the dungeon until I got it. I just farmed it until I got the Taken Crystal. Okay. Okay, but so now that we've looked at that, increased charge rate by 20%. I'm not going to know how this works because I don't have it. Increased impact damage. Okay, hold on a second. I just saw Teraba, but I have some issues. But reduce impact damage of charged shots. Reduce extra heat generated. Increase damage versus mini bosses and champions. Okay. And that's a perk to the catalyst? Okay, heirloom. Okay, heirloom. Now, Teraba. It felt odd for Teraba to not reward you at all for defeats. So we have remedied that while building more tie-ins into the solar kit to let you get the Ravenous Beast mode more often. Dealing damage to scorched combatants grants increased Ravenous Beast progress by 30%. Can generate full meter if the mag hits a scorched enemy. Kills greatly increase progress. Okay. Again, completely useless. Completely useless. Because the only way Titans can build Scorch is with a grenade. That's it. And you have to rely on the grenade not killing the enemy. But like, also Hammer Strike as well. But if you're going to use Solar Titan melees, you're using Bonk, which doesn't do Scorch. Or you're using Consecration, which just kills everything. So, the Teraba is still not as usable. Unless we get a new Solar Fragment or something that makes it to where we can let Solar Weapons deal Scorch or something. Because other than that, Teraba is just completely useless still. Anarchy. Once Finality's Augur was released, Anarchy felt like it no longer had a place as a point defense trap system. So we're amping up its traps capabilities to be more competitive versus Finality's Augur. Increased armed trap lifetime by 50%, from 10 seconds to 15 seconds. Increased trap damage versus combatants by 30%. Okay. Doubled trap detonation damage versus combatants to better match the pro-tick damage of a trap. Replace moving target with impromptu ammunition. I actually don't know what that perk is, so probably good. I will say it's not gonna help that much. It's not gonna help that much. We just act clear too well now. I wish they would have increased its boss capabilities. Like maybe it might, like if combatants, I think it should have its boss damage increase just a little bit, just a little bit. Now Divinity. After all this time, we felt it was fair to bring Divinity back up at least a little bit, so that the dedicated Divinity user in your group didn't feel like they were wielding a sluggish gun and missing out on some damage. Okay. Decrease damage of penance by 20%. Reduce time to activate penance from 4 to 3 seconds. Reduce shots to activate the cage from 14 to 10. I actually kind of agree with this. Winter Bite. Winter Bite is an extremely solid workhorse glaive, but it feels overly punishing to shoot the projectile. I agree. Reduce the self-damage of the projectile by 66%. Not going to help with that much. Okay, the class-specific glaives. Glaive projectiles now grant doubled progress towards special shot. Pretty good. Hierarchy of needs. Oh my goodness. We've updated Hierarchy of needs to make its seekers more interactive and build-friendly, helping them better follow your precision shots. Through the guidance ring, apply Scorch for build crafting synergy. Okay. Seekers now apply plus 15 Scorch to hit targets. Added hidden tracking for Seekers that guides them to targets recently hit by precision damage. Okay. Increased hipfire accuracy. Okay. Nice. Sunshot and Graviton Lance. Rebalance the damage of the explosion to deal more damage up close and less damage the further away. Okay. Oh, Outbreak got nerfed. Oh. Okay. They're reducing the damage bonus of maximum anti-sex from 4.5 to 4x. Okay, that's fine. Arbalest. Yes! Yes, Arbalest is back! Increased damage versus champions by 33%. Oh, yes! Yes, Arbalest, my boy! Arbalest used to be so goated. Wardrift Coil. Wardrift Coil will be getting a couple of bug fists and a sorely needed max ammo increase, finally. Mechanized autoloader now works while the weapon is stowed. Okay. Specs for 5 to 8. Thank fuck. Lament. Reverted the previous nerf to this weapon by 70%. Return most of the final hit combo damage to self-healing the previous change reduced. Okay, so they're basically bringing Lament back to what it was. And I'm assuming the Catalyst is going to help it as well. Truth. Now returns 1 ammo to reserves and buffs the next magazine when all rounds in a magazine hit a target. Okay. That'd be nice. Track increased the rate of fire, stability, tracking strength, and cluster bombs. What the fuck? Might be a great act-clearing rocket. Thunderlord. Reduced ammo refunded by the lightning strike from 7 to 5 at base. I agree with this. I don't like Thunderlord being that much into big DPS. Whirling Ovation. I have this exotic. Don't use it. Increase the amount of anticipation gain. Okay. Fine. Prometheus Lens? Okay. Prometheus Lens got a Scorch effect in a very different Destiny 2 sandbox, so we're giving it a bit of love to help keep up with other similar weapons. Increased Scorch attacks, Scorch attacks applied by trigger up to 20 from 10. Okay. Centrifuge. Increase the amount of magazine refill per trigger from 10% to 4%. Well, to 10% from 4%. Slayer's Fang, which is the shotgun, it's not going to help it. Increase magazine size by 2, because ammo reserve by 10. That slowly reloads itself while its buff is active. It needs volatile rounds. Xenophage. Once a terror of Gambit and PvE alike, Isotomar also had that. Xenophage definitely has a hard time in today's sandbox. It's had a hard time outside of Alta Glass and PvE, I'm going to be real. But increased ammo reserve by 10. I think that's pretty good. But again, we're assuming that the catalysts are going to do something for some of these exotics. They're only doing minor changes too. Now, legendary weapon sandbox. Increased primary ammo damage versus minor combatants by 30%. Bless you. That's insane. Exotic primary versus minor combatants from 30% to 40%. It needs help in the orange bar department as well. Non-blaster primary ammo weapons. Decreased damage versus major combatants by 15%. That's pretty good. Blaster primary weapons increase bonus damage versus major combatants from 50% to 20%. Okay, special ammo weapons. Increase damage versus major combatants by 20%. Excludes sniper rifles, rockets, pulses, rocket sidearms, swords, and choir of one. Okay, so basically shotguns and fusion rifles. That's good. Oh, yes. Okay, I already see some great changes. Onto the specific primary ammo weapon rocket type, primary ammo archetypes got some additional balanced tuning. Auto rifles, high impact. Moved RPM from 360 to 400. That helps. Reduced ADS damage fall off. Reduced base damage from 24 to 22. Considering that all weapons are getting a buff, that's fine. This includes Vex Mythic class and Suros Regime with dual speed reloader, but excludes Cerberus and Sweet Business in its now non-spun up state. Okay. Okay. Okay, it being moved to 400 is kind of huge. Adaptive, increased base damage by a little bit. Increased critical hit damage by a little bit. Pulses lightweight, reduced base damage a little bit, reduced critical hit for a little bit. Legacy frame. Since these weapons inherit the damage chain from lightweight pulse rifles, we are reverting the nerf to the ADS damage. Okay. High impacts, they don't need to get changed that much, but ADS. Rapid fire. Scout rifles. Okay. I don't like what they've done with tank. Reduce damage-based damage. Scout rifles are not the damage type that needed. Its damage reduced. Rapid fire scout rifles are not the damage type that needed any sort of damage produced. Hand cannons. Again, 180s needed help. They didn't get help. But to reduce aggressive space damage and then reduce critical hit damage by a little bit by hand cannons. Now, bows. Increase damage versus minor by 20% and increase damage versus major by 40%. That's quite nice. Also above the touch, many special weapon archetypes also got some buffs along with some nerfs to one particular archetype that won't be too surprised to see. Rocket pulses. Rocket sidearms increase explosion radius by 33%. I actually agree with this because rocket pulses kind of don't feel like a rocket pulse, honestly. In terms of they don't feel like you're firing a mini rocket. They just feel like you're fighting a beefy sidearm shot. Fusion rifles. Okay. Cartesian is my favorite. Fusion. But increased damage of rapid fires by 7%, adaptive by 10%, precisions by 20%, high impacts by 15%. Shotguns, okay. Aggressives got increased by 15%, improved the base stats of Fellow Witch's Lie. Lightweights got increased by 15%. Oh, and precisions got increased by 20%. This is great. This is great. This is great. Okay. Slugs! Slug shotguns are coming back! Rapid fire, 10%. Pinpoint, 5%. Ooh, that's not enough for a gun like... Fuck, first and last out. First and last out. Because the question is heritage and first and last out back? Nope, first in is a pinpoint. Heritage is also a pinpoint, so this doesn't affect those. Ooh. Ooh. Okay, so that sucks. Snipers, increase aggressive by 15, increase adaptive by 10%. Glaives, increase PvE damage by 10% for rapid fires. Trace rifles needed help. Increase damage versus minor by an additional 20% and increase damage versus major by 20%. Exotic trace rifles, increase damage bonus versus minor commands from 30% to 40%. That's fine. Rocket pulses, we knew it was coming. Reduce ammo generation stat by 15. Decrease PvE damage by 10%. Decrease damage versus bosses by 20. This is on top of the above 10%. I agree with this. Explosion rate gets reduced. That's fine. So it's still going to be good for minors and it's still going to be good for majors, but against bosses, it's getting reduced. I agree with that. Reduce super generation by 20% for roamers and 33% for standard supers. I heavy agree with this as well. Now, heavy weapons. Heavy ammo weapons are getting some changes to make them more effective against bosses and champions, along with some targeted ammo tuning. Heavy GLs increase damage in champs by 5%. Rockets 5%. Crossbows 10%. I actually agree with this. Linears increase the damage of all legendary LFRs versus bosses chance by 10%, and precision is getting another 10%. Increase ammo reserve by 30%, excluding sleeper simulant. No. Machine guns increase bitter ends reserve ammo. Okay, swords decrease the cost of vortex frame heavy attack. Finally, that's great. Okay, we are gonna take a look at Bitter's End. Because if I remember correctly, I think Bitter's End is the new one they just added, right? Yes! Okay, this means if you're using Bitter's End, and if you're using my Joe Hendry build, just rock double special. Like, you can just rock the shit out of Bitter's End. Just use some boss damaging weapons with the other one. Bitter's End is an ad-clear machine gun, and they're leaning into that. Shoutouts to Bungie for buffing my Joe Hendry build. Like, low-key, they buffed my shit. I appreciate them, you know. They like the Joe Hendry, alright? Okay, so legendary perk changes. In addition, okay. Focus Fury. Increase the damage bonus from 20% to 5%. Hits required to activate decreased from 50% of the magazine to 35% of the magazine. Oh, that's nice for like some of the Deep Stone Crypt weapons. Full Court, 25%, 35%. That's great. Lasting Impression. Explosive damage bonus increase from 25% to 35%. Okay, so if you have any rocket that has cluster and lasting, that's the perk right there. Reservoir Burst, dealing damage bonus increase from 25% to 30%. Okay. Gunshot Straight, best PvP perk, so there's that for you. Adagio, reduce the damage bonus on hand cannons from 30 to 27, and increase the damage bonus on shotguns and bows from 20 to 30. Okay. Wow, okay. The following perks receive some quality of life tuning to make them easier to activate on their own or with other build crafting elements. Okay, collective action, fusions, so everything that collects things. Now all share the same Tangle activator, destroying Tangle either by shooting it or upon impact authority. Okay, that's good. Previously, this activator differed depending on the perk, and would either activate when shooting a Tangle. Okay, so some Tangle shenanigans. Okay. Artifact elemental orbs are now officially considered to be elemental pickups. Okay, that's pretty good. Collective action. Fire sprites, void breaches, 8 seconds. Ionic traces, stasis stars, 4 seconds. Okay, so they've changed some of the timer stuff. I agree with Ionic traces being relatively low because they just spawn so much. Okay. Y'all can read some of this for y'all fouls. Decrease the max time from 12 seconds to 16 seconds. That's quite good, actually. All-Star. Don't know what this does. Damage timer is pause and weapon stow. Don't know what that does. Desperado, in addition to its current activator reloading after a precision kill, Desperado can now activate reloading after 3 rapid kills. Oh! Oh! Okay. Frenzy. Fixed an issue where the enhanced version of Frenzy was not getting an extended duration when refreshed compared to standard Frenzy. Okay, that's also good. Also fixed an issue where Frenzy being inactive could prevent their Crystal Origin perk from activating. That's interesting. I actually use Posterity with Frenzy, so that's actually quite nice for me. Jolting Feedback. Reduce the number of shots to activate the perk by 1 to 2 seconds for Scout Rifles and hand cannons? Yes! Encore. That's fine. Ambitious Assassin. Okay. Cascade Point. You'll see that, I guess? I don't use a lot of these perks. Attrition Orbs. Now activates at 4 hits on Waveframe GLs, down from 10. That's great. Now activates in 3 hits from rocket launchers, down from 6. What the fuck did y'all have that in the first place? Contending Cascade. I don't think I even have a weapon with most of these perks. Yeah, I don't have any weapons with these perks, so these are some nice buffs, I guess. Oh, Full Choke, I think, is a magazine perk, right? Pulse spread is now reduced by 5%. Okay. Find some origin trait weaknesses were addressed to make them feel more impactful. That's all of them. Dreaming City, new effect, 5% damage bonus while active. That's great. Then bonus handling. Gun and Run, reworked effect. We already saw the reworked effect from yesterday. Nanotech Tracer Missiles, reduce the amount of hits needed for Basso Asinato to activate Nano Tracer by roughly 1. Okay. Yeah. Artifacts, Artifact and Anti-Champion. Okay, holy shit, this is a lot. So finally, they will finally go in loadouts. Also, loadouts are getting increased to 20, which is great. Channel blow on artifacts. Okay. Now, we have built anti-champion capabilities directly into your gun, so you must no longer worry about your favorite guns not getting anti-champion offerings in a season, but more on that in a moment. Okay. So these two are tier 2, tier 1, tier 2, tier 3. Okay. Updates, so with all these two come 6 new mods. Okay, Tier 1. So we're basically keeping the same ones that we have already, basically. Tier 1, Finisher, Final Blows, Great Grenade, and Melee Energy. Rapid Remedy, Machine Gun, Final Blows, finally heal you? Oh, Bitter Red just got more broken! Oh, Bitter Red just got more broken! Blinding Jolts, Final Blows on jolted combatants, blinds nearby combatants. Arc. Precision Final Blows build progress towards a large overpower that grants bonus weapon damage upon pickup. Ooh! Arc-powered melee hits jolt commands and deal further damage for a short duration. That's mainly for Titan, okay. Arc Flux Magnetic and Fusion Grenades deal more damage when attached to combatants. On Final Blows, they release several micro missiles that seek nearby combatants. Okay. But wait, there's more. Holy shit, this is long. I apologize. Not just off, but a whopping 7 artifacts pulled from seasons past? Okay, so the old artifacts are coming back. Holy shit. Holy shit. Argent Ordnance is coming back as well? Okay, okay. Oh my lord. Oh my lord. Okay. So they're adding some of these to weapons. So all aggressives and high impacts will be unstoppable. All precisions and adaptives will be barrier. And all lightweight and rapid fires will be overload. Now that covers most of the weapons in the game here. So support auto rifles will be overload. Adaptive burst LFRs will be barrier. Arrow denials are going to be overload, which makes sense. Breach, but you can see y'all can read those. The rocket pulses will be unstopped. Same with sidearms. Vortex range being overload is nice. Caster range being barriers are gonna be nice. So the heat weapons are gonna be overload. Okay, that's fine. Now exotic weapons each got the effect. But Barrow Dyad is gonna be overload. Izanagi's Murder will be barrier. Trinity Ghoul's overload. Xenofade is unstoppable. Parasite being barrier is a eh. Yoda being unstoppable is interesting. Okay. So they just showed some pictures of some examples. Vendor updates. By the way, y'all are getting no thumbnail for this because this shit is long. Focused for gear tiering is not example for mini. Okay. Okay, so it'll be tied to power for focusing a vendor. So Ada 1 edition she will have 4 unreleased shaders and year 1 shaders. Okay, that's nice. Legacy armor will no longer be on rotation. Okay. Updated threat or bounty reset. No longer reset seasonally. Instead, players will earn 1 additional threat or bounty per class per week. New bounties available each week at weekly reset. Okay. Drifter, Gambit reputation, rank reward track is now restored. You have Gambit focusing, Banshee focusing, Hawthorne focusing. Y'all can read all of this. This is long. Saladin focusing, of course. Shax. Tiered armor as well. Berserk. Okay. Attune everywhere. Okay. Okay, so you can attune for attunement exists for the following activities. Oh, okay. So you can attune different stuff. Okay, that's kind of insane. That helps the loophole massively. That helps the loophole massively. Okay. Okay. All in all, decent changes. Again, Terraba's fate is going to mightily depend, at least for me personally, in my use. Here's what I will say. None of these exotics are really going to make me use them. I just got to be perfectly honest. Anarchy is not enough to bring back the old shotgun meta. Terraba, unfortunately, like, come on. Unless we got a solar fragment that lets us give weapons the ability to scorch, Terraba's just not going to be used. I personally would have rather have seen Terraba get Burning Ambition, honestly. Vex Mythoclast, I think, is an interesting change. Out of these new exotic changes that they've made, I think Jade Rabbit, Vex Mythoclast, and Arbalest are probably the ones that I might try out, honestly. Outside of that, they finally touched up high impact auto rifles, so maybe they'll be more useful. Because some high impact auto rifles actually have some great rolls, but they're terrible. So there's that. And so, that's gonna do it. I'm gonna give. It's not as good as the first Dev Insight article in terms of the changes and whatnot, but I like the prospect of the article. But on that note, though, I appreciate y'all for tuning in. Again, the actual TWAB, I will be recording it before work, at least hopefully, but it will not be released until afterwards. And so on that note, though, I appreciate y'all for tuning in, and I will catch y'all on the flip side.